Hello and welcome to this edition of Medill Newsmakers. I'm Katy Winge. Today we're crossing over to the court and zoning in on basketball in the Chicagoland area. Later I'll hand the ball off to my colleague Mike Davis to talk about the Chicago Bulls. But first, let's focus in on the collegiate level and Chicago's Big Ten team. This first part of our show will cover the Northwestern Wildcats' journey to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. Northwestern has been playing basketball since 1904, and no team had ever done what this team accomplished this year. It was a remarkable regular season with a school record 24 victories and a full court pass that led to an unbelievable game-winning shot. On Selection Sunday, the day the NCAA tournament teams are announced, the Wildcats knew they were dancing on the verge of history. And for the most part, Northwestern kept its cool. But in the instant that changed everything, the team abandoned all composure. A defining moment that will be remembered forever. Now I am joined by Northwestern men's basketball assistant coach Patrick Baldwin. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So take me back to that moment on Selection Sunday. Describe the emotional roller coaster that you went through that day.
It was surreal, to be honest with you, and I just took myself to when I was here as a student athlete and wanting this moment for myself, for my former teammates, for many people whom I got to know through all those times, and it was just an unbelievable experience. It was tears, it was laughter, it was a lot of happiness. My wife, she also was a student athlete here. She played volleyball, so for our entire family to be in that moment was great.
You mentioned you were a student athlete as well, and one of the best basketball players in Northwestern program history. How did you react when you heard Northwestern's name called?
I just jumped up and there weren't any immediate tears, but I just jumped up and yelled just like our guys did and was just so thrilled and happy that our name was called. In my mind, though, as a coach now, immediately jumped to, all right, we got to start preparing.
Thinking back to when you started 4 years ago with head coach Chris Collins and that team compared to the team now, what are the biggest differences?
I think the culture change is the biggest difference. That was the one thing in our first year together. We wanted to make sure that we had the type of guys that would go to battle with us, that wanted to do all the things that we needed them to do in order to be successful. We wanted guys who were tough. We wanted guys that wanted to compete at a high level. We wanted guys that eventually, once their career was done, wanted to be pros. But more importantly, we wanted guys that would do anything for their team. You transition from that first year to now, we had those types of guys that cared only about their team. Stats didn't mean anything to them. And I think that's the reason why we were so successful.
And one of those players that you mentioned is Brian McIntosh. I know that you have worked a lot with him on his development through the years. How important was his role in this team's success?
I always said that the point guard is probably the most important position on your team, and not just because he has the ball all the time, but he's going to be in charge of influencing how your game is played on both ends of the floor. But his maturation, his growth from the time that he got here to this past season has been tremendous.
What was the moment like when you realized this year, okay, this is the year that we might actually make it to the NCAA tournament?
You know, when we went on a streak where we went 7-2 in the Big Ten, and I just felt like at that point we were doing some really good things. We had our starting lineup. They were all contributing. They were doing great. We had our roles settled and what everybody needed to do in order to allow us to win and to be successful. But at that point, I just felt like, you know, this is something special.
What is the coaching staff's plan to build on this momentum moving forward?
Well, I think with success with making it to the NCAA tournament, you know, it takes you to another level of recruiting. And so for us, recruiting is part A, it's all the way to Z. We hope that the success that we've had, not only just this year, but what we've built, you know, spurs even better players to want to consider Northwestern.
The Gonzaga game is a few months ago now.
Yeah.
What has the biggest impact that you've seen from last season to this season? Where has that been?
You know, the biggest impact, I think, is just with our guys and their work ethic in the gym, in the weight room, all of that stuff. It still stings us. I know it stings us as a staff. And we carry that over into our individual workouts with our guys, knowing that, you know, we were a few minutes away from potentially pulling off what some call would be an upset. That's our charge. That's our whole mantra going in, that, you know, our work doesn't stop. We have so much more we can prove.
Patrick Baldwin, the assistant coach of Northwestern men's basketball, thank you so much for taking the time today to discuss a remarkable season for that program.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we'll hear from one of the players on the roster. We'll be right back.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Welcome back to this Ballin' edition of Medill Newsmakers. Today we're looking back at the unforgettable Northwestern men's basketball season. The wait for the Wildcats to earn a spot in the big tournament over. Finally. Talking with one of the players who has been a part of this four-year transformation every step of the way. The team didn't want to just be a part of a legacy. They wanted to create one. Northwestern men's basketball senior Nathan Taphorn joins us now via Skype. Nate, thank you so much for taking some time to spend with us today talking through your historic season with Northwestern.
Yeah, no problem. I love taking the time out to talk about that. It's a pretty cool time to talk about. So.
I want to start with the Michigan game. I mean, take me through that play. You were on the baseline, 1.7 seconds left, tie game. What was going through your head?
I mean, in those moments that you make that big play, it was just kind of afterwards, it was more of like a blackout and didn't know really what to do. I got nervous when I was behind the basket, but on the baseline. But after making that throw and seeing kind of where it was going, it was awesome feeling.
That was really a pivotal point of your guys' season as well. When you saw Derek's shot go in, give me kind of the play-by-play of your reaction.
As soon as he caught it, I was like, all right, we won the game, because I have complete 100% confidence in Derek finishing in the basket, especially that close. So after he made it, it was just a matter of finding someone just to kind of tackle and take down, and Derek was that guy. So.
Now that you've had some time to reflect on this season, how has the team transformed in your eyes from your freshman year to now your senior year?
I think it's been an incredible journey for me and my career, but it has been an incredible journey as well for the rest of the team. The support around the campus has grown so much, and just having the alumni reach out to us and say, "Hey, thanks for doing that," and like just having that support around us is the biggest thing we ever could ask for. So that's been a huge change. I mean, Coach Collins has done an incredible job of just implementing all the things he's learned over the past 15, 20 years and bringing it to the table as far as what he wants to do for Northwestern.
I know you guys broke down every huddle with toughness. What was the impact of that kind of mentality on this team in this season?
It was just a mindset of what we needed to do in order to accomplish this goal of making the NCAA tournament. So just being tough every day, going through what you needed to do, not only physically tough, but mentally tough.
You were a key contributor this year, but what does it mean to you that this season's team really left the legacy that they did?
I don't really have any words for that one. It's a great feeling knowing that this legacy will be remembered forever, and it's only going to grow. There's no turning back from this. I don't think there's going to be more and more guys that want to be a part of this. So that's going to be the most special part about it.
Can you imagine a sweeter way to go out as a senior?
I don't think I could have drew it up any better. People always say that you just went out the right way.
Thank you so much for coming on Skype today and chatting with us about a remarkable season, and congratulations, Nate, on a fantastic career at Northwestern.
Yeah, I love taking the time out, and so happy to talk about that. So thank you very much.
Stick around. We've got the details on head coach Chris Collins and his contract extension when we come back.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Welcome back to Medill Newsmakers. In 4 years, Northwestern men's basketball head coach Chris Collins managed to turn a 14-win program without any postseason play to a 24-win team, advancing into the second round of the NCAAs. And as of this spring, he's committed to more. Collins' contract was extended through the 2024-25 campaign. Northwestern has increased its season win total in each of the 4 seasons he has been in that top spot. This past year, the Wildcats earned 10 victories in conference play, the school's most since the 1932-33 season. Collins said he had people tell him not to come to Evanston, that change wasn't possible, but he envisioned something much different.
Northwestern is a fit for me and my family and our staff, and I love the people there. I love the commitment from the university, the leadership. I always wanted to have the opportunity to coach at a place that I could call home. It was never about being here to go somewhere else. You know, I came to Northwestern to be the Northwestern coach for a long time.
Next year, the Cats will be playing in All-State Arena because the Transform program will soon have a reconstructed place to play. Welsh Ryan Arena is undergoing a $110 million renovation that is set to be complete by fall 2018. The Wildcats say this is just the beginning, a dramatic finish setting the stage for something bigger. And with that, I will take the assist and pass things off to Mike Davis. We'll be right back.